What's going on, you guys? In today's video, we're going to go on ahead and install these Rally Armor mud flaps on my wife's 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. I'm going to show you the installation process for the passenger front and also for the passenger rear, and then it's literally identical on the other side. But I think you're going to find that this installation process is super easy, super straightforward. You need very minimal tools. If you're thinking about doing this, go on ahead and just do it. It's very DIY friendly. Literally anybody can do this. When you're working on the front mud flaps, you do want to kitty corner your wheels. You can see here that there's a lot more space that opens up inside the fender well. As far as tools, all you need is a flathead screwdriver to help get the factory clips out. You need a Phillips head screwdriver to help with the installation, and then a small socket wrench, or really any size socket wrench with just a 7/16 inch head. It's a really simple installation, guys. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. Hope you guys like the video. Hope you find it helpful. If you do, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this in the future. But otherwise, yeah, thanks for stopping by. We're going to go on ahead and jump right in and get started. All right, so to get started with the installation process, we're going to start by removing clip 1, clip 2, clip 3, and clip 4 up here. These 3 clips are going to be replaced with some hardware from Rally Armor, and then you're just removing this upper clip to help with moving the wheel well liner out of the way. So we'll go on ahead and start by removing these clips, and you just have to kind of wedge the head of the clip free here, and then they just kind of come right out once you've got that wedged free. Okay, we've got those clips out of the way, and now you'll be able to kind of move the fender liner out and just give yourself a little bit of space to work. We're actually primarily going to be working in this area here. We're not going to be working on this so much. So we're going to be working in this area here. And what we want to do is we're going to take these clips from Rally Armor. So these are some of the replacement hardware that came in. And we're going to make sure that the flat side of the clip is facing outward, right? And we're going to go on ahead and take this. And the first one is going to go in between this cowling and the metal. So we're going to go on ahead and move that out of the way. And we're just going to pull it back, and we're going to slide it in there so you can see where that is right now. And then we're just going to slide that in so that the holes line up. There we go. So that clip is in. And then we're going to do something very similar with these lower holes, but these are going to go, of course, right on the plastic. And again, we want the flat part out, right? So there's a ridged end and then a flat end. We want the flat end out. There we go. And when it lines up, it's going to click. It's going to pop into place. And then the bottom one. There we go. For all intents and purposes, we are done working in this area now. So we can go on ahead and line our fender liner back up. And they say that you need to come in here and clean all of this out. I don't think you really need to, because you're going to be putting washers in. The washers have adhesive tape, right? They're just these actually foam spacers. And these foam spacers have adhesive tape. You really only need them to stay adhered long enough to bolt everything up. So as long as you don't have just like a serious amount of caked in dirt and stuff, once you get everything together, they're going to be sandwiched in there, and it's not going to make a difference. All right, so let's go on ahead and start with the first one. Just want to line up the holes best as you can. Okay, next you're going to take this foam spacer, and you'll get 2 of these. And so they're the exact same cut, they're just reversed. So you just want to fit it in here, whichever way it makes the most sense. So that seems to make the most sense on the passenger side. There we go. Now this next part is where we are going to start mounting the mud flap. And so you're going to get 2 of these brackets. The bracket goes on the face of the mud flap like this, where you can see the Rally Armor logo. And then you're going to flip it around, and it's going to basically be in between the mud flap and the fender liner. The reason why you do that is, like I said, it's just going to give it a little bit more structure. So it's not just the flimsy mud flap mounted onto your plastic. So it just gives it a little bit more structure. And this top hole has a bolt coming through it. That's not attached to anything. You're going to have a screw, or I'm sorry, you're going to have a nut that goes on and secures that bolt. So we're going to go on ahead, and what I like to do is we're going to screw that on first so that it's at least fixed on. Oh, and we want a washer. Okay, so now we've got that attached. Next, we're gonna line up our holes. So when we secure the mud flap, on the front, we're gonna use the long screw. So you're gonna get a short screw and a long screw. We're gonna use the long screw and a washer, just like that. It's gonna go through just like that, and then we're going to screw this into that hole. And this is where it becomes very handy if you moved your wheel out of the way. You'll get a lot more area to work with. And we're not gonna screw it all the way in at first. We're gonna screw it most of the way in, but we want to be able to adjust the mud flap before we tighten it all the way down. You want to be careful not to over tighten these because it's literally just thick threaded screws going into plastic, so you can definitely strip it out if you over tighten them. And we're gonna go on ahead and move on to the rear. So I just finished the installation on the driver's side rear, and we're gonna go on ahead and move over to the passenger side rear so you can see what that looks like now. And believe it or not, this was actually easier even than the front, which is crazy because this is such an easy installation. It just really blows my mind. But on the passenger side rear, which is what we're working on now, this is everything that you're going to need to do the installation. So you're going to want the larger Rally Armor mud flap. You want the curve to be going towards the inside of the car, and you want to make sure the logo is facing the back, so you got that good Rally Armor swag for anybody who's behind you. As far as tools, the tools are the same as the front. You'll need the screwdriver, socket, and the wrench. Same sizes, and then you'll need the flathead to pull out the factory clips. This is the hardware that you're going to need: 4 washers, 2 of the clips, 1 of these little plastic clips, 3 of the short screws, and then you're going to need 1 nut, and then this mounting bracket. And the way that that mounting bracket is oriented is exactly how it's going to mount on the passenger side rear. So you want that screw to be oriented towards the center of the car, not towards the outside of the car. That's how you're going to know that you have them mounted on the right side of the car, because there's 2 of those brackets. They're not labeled. And so you kind of have to just like look at the pictures in the diagram and see like what makes sense when you're under the car. It'll make more sense when we go to install it, but you just want to make sure the screw piece of that is oriented towards the center of the car. All right, let's go on ahead and get started with the installation. As far as the rear installation is concerned, Subaru actually has these pre-drilled holes ready to accept your mounting clips for your Rally Armor mud flaps. I thought that was awesome when I noticed that. And so we're going to put 2 of the black clips here. We can go on ahead and just start with that actually. So we'll put these black clips on just like we did on the front, with the smooth part facing forward or facing the outside. Line up the holes. There we go. And then the bracket. Okay, so the bracket, I'm just gonna show you, it's a little tricky with the camera angles, but if we go under the car here, I'm gonna keep a constant feed so you can see exactly what I'm pointing at instead of cutting in. This is the clip that you're going to remove, and then once you remove that clip, the bracket is going to go in. See how this is oriented? It's gonna go in just like that. All right, so I'll put the camera back on the tripod and show you as I do it, but I just want you to kind of see what I meant when I said that screw is going to be oriented towards the center of the car. Okay, just like that. That'll be the finished product, almost. Actually, before you install the bracket, you need to take this little plastic clip that's in the kit, and you're going to put it in the hole underneath your bumper. All right, so you're just going to press it in there, and that's what your screw is going to screw into. Okay, just like that. And then your bracket is going to go in between them as well. And then you're going to screw it in, right? Same with the washer, just like that. And it's gonna screw right in. I'm gonna fill it in, I'm using a flathead, don't judge me. All right, so when you tighten this down, you just wanna make sure that the bracket over here, see how there's some play in it? You wanna make sure that's pushed all the way up against the plastic. And then also kind of like oriented as parallel to the ground as you can. Okay. And you can even wait to tighten that all the way down until you're in there and mounting the actual mud flap. That way you can make sure it's all dialed in with your position of the mud flap before you actually secure it all the way down. All right, so now we have clip bracket, and mounting is going to be the same as the front, where we're basically going to use a washer and a screw, and that washer and screw will go into the mud flap, like so. And just like that, we got the Rally Armor mud flaps installed on my wife's 2022 Subaru Forester Wilderness. That was hands down one of the easiest installation projects I've really ever done on a Subaru, or any car for that matter. All in, if I wasn't recording, this probably would have taken no more than 30 minutes. Really basic tools required. The installation instructions are pretty good. I think that some of the tips you'll find in the video with the brackets are gonna make it a little bit easier to understand. But all in, totally, easy installation, definitely worth it. It's gonna help protect the vehicle. It adds that kind of like off-road rugged look. I really love the way the mud flaps look. I have them on my STI, even though she's a tar baby, but the Wilderness, she sees a little bit more gravel, a little more off-road. So yeah, the mud flaps, definitely a suitable mod, if you will, if you can even call it that. So yeah, hope you guys liked the video. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I'm happy to answer those questions. And if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this in the future. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and have a great rest of your day.